Hey there! So, welcome back to another video. As you can see, majority of my base is done except for here and my eyes. I did just film this video for my little elf eyeshadows. If you can hear like in the background, it's my computer, it's currently running. I hope you can't hear it. I already did my base. I just need to reapply some concealer. By the way, I did start using the Conceal and Define concealer. I did get a shade that is way too light for me. This is shade C3 and it looks like this on me. It looks white. It looks like my backdrop. But let's quickly just apply this to our eyelids and the bottom of like over here, just to conceal and create a base for the eyeshadows. Then let's get into this beautifulness. So first of all, this is my first piece of drag queen merchandise. So look at that. Wow. So basically what they've done, which is so cute, is they've done half of the palette to be Naomi Smalls and half of it to be KimChi. Yeah, I love that. That is such a cute idea. Instead of just have it being like a bunch of colors on like one palette, they've decided to split it in half and say like, look, this side is what KimChi would do, this side is what Naomi would do. It does not come with a mirror. That is not something that really bothers me. I know some people want that luxury of having a mirror in their palettes, but I mean, who wants a mirror when you can just look at this gorgeousness instead? So obviously we are doing two different eyes because I want to be able to like do as much with the palette as I can. I'm thinking we'll do one eye look that is more Naomi Smalls and a like neutral look, and then one that's KimChi, obviously because it's split in half, so why not do half. Let's quickly get started. I am gonna be honest, out of the two queens on this palette, Naomi is my favorite. Love Naomi Smalls very, very much. So we're gonna do the Naomi side first. I'm going to grab the shade Savannah, which is this shade over here, and just run that through our crease quickly. Ooh, this shade is so pretty. Oh my goodness. Oh, I didn't do swatches. Okay, that took like zero effort to blend, but that's probably because this is a really close shade to my skin tone, so we're not gonna like get too hyped up. Okay, it doesn't say how many shades there are. Let me quickly check. 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 6 4 8 6 12 18 24 4 8 12 16, 20. Yeah, so there's 24 shades in here. I'm not going to be swatching all 24. I'm just going to swatch the ones that I want to swatch, the ones that really stand out to me. One thing I did, because I was obviously, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to try this palette. So then I was like going online, looking at other people's reviews, and lots of people said that the way it appears in here is not how it appears on your skin. I did swatch some of these already and they appeared pretty close to what they look like in the palette. But let's quickly swatch. Okay, so there I see. So this shade, the dwarf shade, it doesn't really look like what it looks like in the pan, but it's not far off. So I don't know how many that is, but that's how many I'm going to do for Kim. I don't really see what they were saying about the shades appearing different on the skin tone as they did in the palette. So let's quickly go into Naomi's side. So I'm not going to swatch Savannah because that's what I already have in my eye. Let's swatch Gecko. Ooh, let's swatch the one under it. Under the Rock. Are you kidding me? Red Sands. Okay, that one as well. I can see that one doesn't really look like the way it does in the pan. Okay, so I've swatched more of Naomi's side. I'm sorry, my favoritism is showing. Okay, once again, just baking. I'm not sure if there's like tons of fallout. I did watch one review / tutorial with this palette and the person was just like dragging it. And I was like, did I make the wrong decision buying this palette? But then I watched another tutorial / review and the other people were all saying that it was fine. And this one person, I'm not gonna like, well, to be fair, I don't really remember who it was. They were just dragging it and I was like, hold on, why though? Like, it's just so unnecessary. Like basically saying that the palette's crap and you shouldn't buy it. So I'm just gonna go in with the shade Mad Maxine just to create a deeper sort of outer corner there. One thing I will say, the Naomi side, look, it's one palette. So the fact that what I'm about to say isn't there isn't really an issue because there's one on Kim's side, but there's no like dark color on Naomi side. Yeah, like I said, it's one big palette, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going in with mixed just to deepen my crease. So like one thing that I will say is the shadows don't tend to apply on top of one another that nicely, but like I'm trying to go on my lash line with Mad Maxine, but it's not really getting me. I'm trying to use as much colors as possible without going overboard. So I'm just gonna warm it up with Red Sands. Is it Red Sands? Red Lands, not Red Sands. Oh my goodness, I can't read. One thing I will say, the Red Lands shade, it doesn't look the same as it does in the pan. I would have liked it more if it looked more like that. Okay, so I'm gonna cut my crease quick sticks. Then I'm just gonna grab spiked. See, so once the colors go down on a wet base, I'm pretty sure it'll just perform so beautifully, because that's what it's doing over here. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with Majane and just go over spiked to create a more of a vibrant green, if that makes sense. So then I'm just gonna go back in with Mad Maxine and tap that on the edge of the crease just to blend. So I'm just gonna go over the top of where I cut my crease and I'm just gonna line the crease. Then I'm gonna go in with, see, I want to use a shimmer, but I'm not sure because like the shimmer in here is really dark. I'm gonna grab Gecko and add that to the back end. Wait. Okay, the shimmers don't really go onto the mattes. Okay, no wait, that nicely, never mind. That's weird. I don't know, that was weird. The shimmers don't really apply on top of a matte shadow. Then I'm gonna go in with Highland Avenue and just add that to my inner corner. There's no real light shimmers on Naomi's side. But again, it's not much of an issue. That's just me analyzing the palettes. So overall review of Naomi Smalls' side of the palette, I will say that there's no real like contrast. Again, this is not an issue. I'm not saying it's horrible or anything like that. And again, this is one palette. So whether this side has a strong contrast or not, there's this side that does have a strong contrast. You know what I'm saying? So I guess the like whole comparison between both sides is kind of unnecessary, and I get that. But what I'm saying is like Naomi Smalls' side of the palette, I wish had more contrast in it. So I wish there was a darker shade. I wish there was a lighter shade. That's just my review of her side of the palette. So then let's get to Kim's side. I'm not going to do green on the side just because I did do on the side. And I'm not going to do a neutral look either. Like I'm going to try and go very colorful. Let's go in with 6 p.m. Sky, which a lot of people were complaining about. So 6 p.m. Sky, we're going to go in here in the outer corner. Okay. So I don't understand because people were saying that it's really patchy. And also when I'm saying people, I mainly mean this one person that was dragging the palette. So they were saying that basically the pigment was off and it was really patchy and blah 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 blah. So I'm not really seeing the patchiness yet. Hopefully there isn't any. Okay, come through. Okay, I'm just gonna add a tiny bit of Suit Yourself, which is the black shade, into this outer corner. We'll see if that deepens it. One thing, okay, so something I will say, I wish the black was a tiny bit darker. So I know what you're thinking, white, black, it's already as dark as it can be. But lots of eyeshadow palettes, they look, this is black, but it's not dark enough. Like I want it to be dark. Like I want to be able to put it on my eye and not have to reapply black, if that makes sense. But with this one, I feel the need to go back in and apply some more. Look, it's fun. I mean, I have other black eyeshadows, so it's not like the end of the world for me. And I think actually a black like that is actually a good black for a beginner. Like someone who's scared of using black, that's a good black because you can always re-intensify if you need to. Okay, I'm gonna take Beaver Trail, which is that really pretty pinky purple color, and blend that out. Packing and then blending works better because I was going in and just blending and it wasn't really showing up as much. So I'll show you now. So I'm just gonna pack this on here. Okay, so one thing I'll also say is this is not like pigmented from the jump, which some people could see as an issue. Just like the black, as much as I said I didn't like the black because it wasn't dark enough, I would much rather have a shade that I can add to, because one thing that people don't really understand about makeup is that you can't take away. So if I add a black to an eyeshadow and I don't want the black there after I've done the eyeshadow, I can't be like, oh, let me just take it away. No, you can't do that. Having something that's not like boom, boom, boom pigmented that you can add to is better in some cases, especially for beginners. I think that this is a very beginner friendly palette. It's colorful, which some might consider not being beginner friendly. It's very, very buildable. I mean, there was barely any pink and I just added a ton of pink. All the shades are buildable. However, if you're somebody, like, I'm not gonna lie, I do like there to be a lot of pigment first, like from the start. I want there to be pigment, period. So therefore it's a bit of an issue for me, but it's not like life-threatening. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with the palettes. It's just that I feel people who are scared of like doing too much, this is a good palette because you'll be able to build the product up. Then I'm gonna go in with Muka on this big brush and I'm gonna blend the outside even more. Okay, and then we're gonna go back in with Beaver Trail, just intensify that pink, and then I'm gonna go back in with Muka on my bottom lash line. Then for the middle, I'm not sure what color to do for like the center of my eye, but I'm gonna go in with Cactus on my controversial sponge tip applicator and apply that to my inner corner. Something is weird. I don't know what it is. Okay, so honestly, that Cactus shade, it's not really giving me the emotions I wanted to get from that color. It pains me to say this because it's such a pretty color, but I fear that it might be because there wasn't like a wet base. Like I was saying with the Naomi side and the Gecko shade, I feel like the shimmers need to have a wet base down to really perform. So let me quickly add some concealer over there and then apply. Okay, y'all, see, that's a lot brighter. So now that I sort of know, I think we're gonna go in with the pink. No, basically I'm just gonna add some concealer onto my eye, just because I know what I know now about the shimmers and the fact that they need to have a wet base, which is a little bit annoying if I'm gonna be honest. Let's go in with Campfire Kindling. I honestly wish it just applied onto... I went in with the wrong shimmer. Okay. I guess we're doing pink and blue in the middle. So that's not really what I was going for. My thoughts on KimChi side, I did kind of share a little bit already, but I like KimChi side a little bit more. But yeah, it's a very good palette. So yeah, like I said, final thoughts on the whole palette as a whole. This is a very beginner friendly palette. It doesn't have all the colors of the rainbow. It's great because you have your neutral shades and you can slowly start to experiment with color. If you're somebody that likes colorful things, likes colorful eyeshadow, likes colorful palettes, this is great. It's really great. If you're somebody, however, that just uses neutral shades, this is a waste. Don't buy this if you just like neutral shades. So overall, I really like the palette. If you're a beginner and you want to start playing around with colors, this is a great palette to do that. So the nice thing is that I like palettes that are versatile as well. I think that this palette could get you tons of looks, period. And there are other palettes on the market at the moment that claim to give you lots of looks, and they are at least 500 Rand more expensive than this one is. Okay, so I did just use a mixture of these bottom four to bronze up and contour my face a tiny bit. As you can see, this palette is versatile. That's what I like. I like when a palette can be used for multiple different things. So overall, highly recommend getting this palette. It's great, it's beautiful, it blends really nicely. I didn't have any problems blending actually. The shimmers do have an issue with building on top of matte shades. At the moment, this would probably be my second favorite palette in my whole collection. So that is the end of this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful. I hope you have a great morning or afternoon or night. And I can't wait to see you next week where we'll be doing non-stop face chart related content. So yeah, bye.